Hey everybody, it's Billy from GayPHX, and it's time for a quick scoop. Joining us today is Chico from ONYX. Chico, what's the scoop?
Hey, how's it going, Billy? Great to be with you. The scoop is that we're having a panel discussion we're particularly interested in people that have never or are curious about kink and leather. We're having a discussion night on Friday, July the 10th. The event starts at 6 p.m., runs through 9 p.m. We have several of our local clubs and some title holders that will be part of the panel. And we're also going to have Ripple Phoenix doing some testing there on site. So pretty excited about it.
Excellent, and we're going to be live streaming just like we did the last Ripple discussion, so we're proud to be a part of that.
Yeah, we sure are.
Awesome. And is there any fee or anything?
No, it's free. We are going to also have food and some alcoholic beverages so people can have a little glass of wine or a beer while they're enjoying the discussion. So hope we get a lot of people to come down and visit us.
Oh, neat. Yes. All right. So that'll be at Ripple at what time again?
Ripple, the doors open at 6. The discussion will run from 7 to 8:30, and we'll be there until 9 o'clock. And the testing will happen from Ripple from 6 to 7, and then again after the discussion. Yeah, so we'll have 6 panelists. We'll have the representative from the Arizona Puppy Weekend, somebody from the Men of Leather, Outback, People, Arizona Women of Leather, and then a rep from ONYX Southwest.
Excellent. All right. There's your quick scoop.
Give me that spark I'm craving, yeah. Dopamine, dopamine, you make me scream. Dopamine, nice and lean. Dopamine, nice and clean. Need that hit of dopamine. Yeah, give me that rush. I get a buzz from a sunrise glow. One cup in my hand, taking it slow. I get a hit from a perfect song. First beat drops and I'm already gone. I get a lift from a message ping. One little note and it makes me sing. I get a high from a brand new scene. Colors all changing in my movie screen. Every little spark in my daily routine turns into a wave of that sweet dopamine. Doesn't take much, just a moment or two. My whole brain lights up when it's coming from you. Dopamine, you make me scream. Dopamine, nice and lean. Dopamine, nice and clean. Need that hit of dopamine. Light me up, make me beam. Turn my whisper to a dream. Yeah, I fiend for that gleam. Give me one more hit of dopamine. I get a rush when the weekend starts. Friends in the car with open hearts. I get a spark from a puppy's joy. Tail going wild like a brand new toy. I get a thrill from a dance floor heat. Bass in my chest and the crowd on beat. I get a charge from a midnight laugh. One inside joke splits the world in half. Every little spark in my daily routine turns into a scream. Dopamine, nice and lean. Dopamine, nice and clean. Need that hit of dopamine. Light me up, make me beam. Turn my whisper to a dream. Yeah, I fiend for that gleam. Give me one more hit of dopamine. One more hit of dopamine. A little joy, a little shine, a favorite song, a perfect line, a friendly face, a little win. And suddenly I'm sparking again, a warm embrace, a crowded room, my heartbeat rising like a boom, boom, boom. Every tiny moment in between feeds my craving for that sweet dopamine. Dopamine, you make me scream. Dopamine, nice and lean. Dopamine, nice and clean. Need that hit of dopamine. Lift me up, break the ceiling. Give me every single feeling. Yeah, I'm glowing, yeah, I'm seen. Running high on pure dopamine.
This is Amanda Renfrew, enrolled agent with The Tax Person with your tax year countdown. Bonuses, commissions, and overtime are often taxed as supplemental wages. Employers typically withhold at 22%. But if your actual bracket is higher, you may owe more at filing. Get support with the free 15-minute consult at thetaxperson.com or look for me as The Tax Person on socials.
I'm Daddy Dave, your friend in the fight to end stigma, and I'm the founder of Team Friendly, here today to talk about DoxyPad. Are you hooking up, living your best life? Keep it hot and healthy.
If I could have...
DoxyPad. A little pill
Hello, can you hear me?
you against STIs
A little.
after sex.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
If I could have the panelists come on up, that'd be great.
Doxycycline. And PEP is the
Panelists to the front,
abbreviation of
panelists to the front, please.
Exposure prophylaxis.
Yeah, this one.
Taking a pill after
Okay.
sex. You've probably heard of PrEP, which is
Go on.
pre-exposure prophylaxis. That's taking meds before being exposed to HIV.
Swallow the microphone in a very sexy way
Hear me on this one?
for extra credit.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Hey, Ben, why don't you come on up?
Leather daddies lean and nod. Tiny twinks dance like sparks from God. Oh, on the patio, legends rise when the heat beneath desert skies. Cigars and whiskey, bodies align at the anvil. We blur the line. We blur the line. Crosses gleam where the faithful bend. Chains hum softly, beginnings end. Daddy bears grin through curls of smoke. Pups play wild while the bass line spoke. Oh. Low light, deep breath, primal call. The night takes hold, consumes us all. On the patio, legends stay. Leather hearts in the East Ballet. Desert night, our souls entwine. At the anvil, we redefine. We redefine.
It is 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Chico ONYX. My pronouns are he, him, él, and I'm a proud member of ONYX Southwest. We started doing our presence here about 3 years ago, and I'm very proud that we now have 6 of our members. We have grown very quickly in a short period of time, and I'll be one of your facilitators tonight. Co-facilitating with me is one of my brothers, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Lunar Onyx. I'm a proud member of ONYX Southwest, also known as Cowboy Number 2. And and I am happy that you all are here. Thanks so much for participating. I'm a member of ONYX Southwest since November of last year.
Thank you, thank you. I do want to start real quick by giving a big, big round of applause to our host, Ripple Phoenix. So if you could give them a big round of applause. They are hosting us. This is a monthly event that we have. It's a series that we're doing. We're alternating. 1 month we do a discussion such as tonight, and then the other month we do a demo. So in August there will be a demo. One of our brothers back there, Bandito, will be doing the demos that month. And then also Ripple Phoenix is doing testing. So please keep that in mind if you need to get tested. Sam is right back there. Sam, you want to introduce yourself real quick, nice and loud? Sam.
Thank you.
Also, I want to give a big shout out to our partners back behind me over here, GayPHX. We are live streamed tonight. Thank you so much for being here. They've been a big supporter of ours since we started, so thank you, Billy and team. We're so glad that you're here. So tonight really is an education session. We've invited various members, leaders from our own leather and kink community, and it's an honor to have you all here. As you can see, we have a very diverse group of people. We are so proud and so honored that you all decided to come and join us today. So here in a few minutes, we're going to hear a little bit about them. Pay close attention, because I'm hoping that as you walk away from tonight, you think about, you know, sometimes we hear, especially nowadays in social media, we hear there's a right way to do leather. And as I hope that you hear tonight, there is a lot of ways to do leather. So with that, I'm honored to start introducing some of our panelists. And what I'm going to have them do is they're going to introduce themselves, tell them their pronouns, the group or the title that they represent, and then just briefly a little bit about your very first kink or leather event that you attended, and what was that like? When you first walked in, scared probably like I was, what was that experience like? So we'll start with you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zara, she, her. I am the Vice President of the Arizona Women of Leather, or AWOL. And let's see, my very first kink event, it wasn't actually a leather event, it was actually at Apex, the Arizona Power Exchange. And I was already in a dynamic at that point, and my former master was already a member there, got me a membership, and we did like this really nice scene together. So it was a lot of fun. It was not my first time playing, but my first time, you know, playing in an actual dungeon, and she made it a lot of fun. So
Woof woof. Woof woof. Hi, I'm Rex. I'm Arizona Puppy 2026. My pronouns are he, him, or good boy. And my first kink event was called Dark Rave. I had been a puppy in Dom Sub Dynamics, but I hadn't gone out as a puppy publicly until then. And I just remember being in an environment where people just accepted me as a dog and treated me in a way that, you know, felt amazing. And from that point on, I was hooked.
Hey everybody, my name is Austin Kent. I use he, him pronouns. I am a kinsman of the Phoenix Boys of Leather, and I am Mr. Phoenix Leather 2023. So my first kink event or leather event was probably at the Anvil back in circa 2015-ish. I was a very slim, stressed out grad student with way too long hair, and I was terrified to be there. I didn't know what was going to happen to me, but I knew that I wanted to see guys in harnesses and not much else, and was thrilled when that happened. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Quix. I use she, they pronouns. I also showed up to the Anvil just hoping to see people in harnesses and not a whole lot else. And I kind of just kept showing up there until I was known and established just by being absorbed. And ended up going to the pup nights very frequently, and simply by virtue of being there and offering my time and my energy and my attention, came to be a part of that community primarily.
Hi, I'm Spark Onyx, or Pup Spark. My pronouns are he, him, or silly. And I am here as a proud member of ONYX Southwest. And one of my first pup events was a pup night at Anvil that one of my best friends took me to, or current best friend. And it was just nice to be able to go and be amongst other pups in person for the first time and see how everybody was operating and see how the community interacted, and to kind of express the silly, fun side of pup play in person. So.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ben, he, him, Mr. Anvil Phoenix 2025, and the events coordinator for Arizona Men of Leather. My first leather experience was at the Fault Line in Los Angeles. Went there on vacation, met a person, well, met a guy, sorry, met a person. Met a guy that was talking to online. This is when AOL was big on chat rooms. Talked about it. We talked, and we ended up going to the Fault Line, just kind of chilling. We did nothing more than just friends, and it was breathtaking. It was tantalizing just walking in there and seeing people on the side getting haircuts, getting fades, and then walking in, you're seeing guys on leather. And this was like, I think, of random Thursday or Friday night. It wasn't even as busy as Saturday, but this is when the Fault Line was an actual leather bar. I mean, it was just at that point I knew, okay, this is what I like, this is what I want to be, this is where I belong. The fetish community, definitely.
Hello, everyone. My name is Don. I am the current treasurer of Arizona Leather Bears and Cubs, hence the hat. Past president, he, him pronouns, or hey, you, or something like that. Anyway, so I'm trying to remember my first experience. I think it was at the Dixie Belle in Kansas City, where I grew up. For those of you that have been around for a while, the Dixie Belle was a famous leather bar in Kansas City on Main Street, and I think I went there with my boyfriend at the time. Probably about 1991. I had just gotten out of prison, and so it was my first time really going to a gay bar, and so needless to say, I was completely uptight, but it was an experience. It was an eye-opening experience, and as they say, the rest is history. Thank you.
Hello, I am Rupert. I am the secretary for the Phoenix Boys of Leather. I use they, them pronouns. As far as my first leather or kink event, I believe that it was CLAW, Cleveland Leather Awareness Weekend, which I believe is now Columbus Leather Awareness Weekend. The first thing that I did was hang out with the puppies. I did a puppy foot race and got a permanent rug burn on my foot that comes out when I get a tan. And Yep, so still a little circle there, and I wouldn't change anything. It was super fun, and yeah, I had a great time, and I stuck around since then.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Oscar, what was your first one?
Oh, God. So my first one was probably walking into Padlock in 2013. And I was, well, maybe a little bit younger than that. I was 18, and I kind of walked into the bar just to see what it was like, during the day shift. But my first event was probably Mr. Cell Block, 2013, when they participating in the big event. And it was nice to see the community come and support each other and see how big the community really was, because I only experienced it in small little groups. It was nice to see that there was more than just me, and that's what hooked me. I was like, yep, this is my space. I love it here. So I'm grateful for that.
Very good. Thank you. Well, my first one was, you guys, I'm going to age myself. My very first event was probably in 1989, and it was in Colorado at the Triangle, which was the leather bar. Some of you guys remember that place. And the Mr. Leather Colorado was taking place, and they used to do demos. As part of the contest, they had to do like some kind of scene, and I was brand new, and I was just like, holy shit, this is nuts. Now, when they tied people up, then I was like, that's when I knew. Thank you all. Oscar?
Those are great experiences. Thank you so much for sharing this with us and being vulnerable. Glad that you guys could be part of this. So I have another question for you guys. Looking across the stage, we represent very diverse organizations, as you know. If somebody walked into Phoenix tomorrow and they knew nothing about the community, how would you describe what makes your organization or your title unique?
So one thing I've always really appreciated about Phoenix is the level of diversity and the willingness to change. Over the past 15 years that I've been around and in the community, I've seen people be able to express themselves in a safe space and kind of figure out who they are, what they enjoy, what makes them tick. And I like the fact that Phoenix overall is kind of ahead of the curve when it comes to like listening to new ideas, trying new things, and we will sometimes see people like ourselves running around in leather vests in 110-degree heat. So we're also a little crazy.
What's unique about the Phoenix Boys of Leather?
Something that's just unique about the Phoenix Boys of Leather is I think that we are so diverse in the things that we like, the kinks that we like, the holes we like to put things in. It is one of those things where we're very big on not yucking anybody's yum. So if you want to try something, there's somebody in the Phoenix Boys that's into it and they can show you the way to do it.
Thank you, Rupert.
Thanks, Rupert.
I'm the next contestant on The Price is Right.
You're the next contestant number 2.
Wow. I tell people, I talk to gay people all around the United States all the time, and when I talk to them about Phoenix, there's this, reputation that Phoenix has that's not deserved, in my opinion. I think it just flows from ignorance that, somehow we're some backwater. When I moved here from Kansas City in 1993, Kansas City had maybe 5 gay bars. I moved here, and it was like gay paradise. There was like 30 gay bars, and I couldn't believe it that a city barely bigger than Kansas City at the time, obviously that's changed, had so many gay bars, and there were so many choices. There were lesbian bars. Kansas City, what's that, And so there's something here. It's like 50 Shades of Grey. There's something here for everybody. No matter what your scene is, no matter what your orientation is, whether you're female, male, trans, whatever, there's something here for you. It has an amazing gay scene. Now, of course, there are challenges. I don't want to paint a scenario that's not necessarily always perfect, but I think Phoenix bats way above the weight class. When I travel to other cities, like I get hassled in Denver because I'm dressed, like I got hassled at the Wrangler because they didn't like my outfit, that kind of stuff. So, and that doesn't happen in Phoenix. Like I've really never had a problem at a gay bar here. I have certainly had issues in gay bars in other cities. So I would argue that Phoenix is more liberal than what a lot of people give it credit for. So as far as Arizona Leather Bears and Cubs, we're a pretty laid-back organization. We have meetings in our backyard where Grid is. It's just pretty chill. We do events, but we keep it laid back because a lot of us are older. We've been around for a while. We've been doing stuff. And, it just is what it is. So I just tell people, come here, enjoy it. Yes, there are not as many gay bars as there used to be in Phoenix. There's still about 20. So there's still a good number. Internet killed the radio star. That's kind of what's happening, But that's how I answer that. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, so I moved here in 2001 from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So my first unofficial experience at a leather bar was at a leather bar in Albuquerque called Cuffs, which was the size of a walk-in closet. Kid you not. And I had chosen to meet up with a guy down there, and I walked in, and I walked up to him and to talk to him. The first thing he did was reached over to my leather, touched my leather, and he's like, "That's cheap leather." And I'm like, "Well, they're Rubio." So we all, if those of us that know leather, Rubio is not exactly cheap and everything else. So that was my kind of unofficial first experience on leather before I got to the fault line. So my goal is always to not be that person. If you have questions about leather, about fetish, about kink, whatever it may be, if I don't know the answer, I'm going to reach out to my community, to my collective, and say, "Hey, I have somebody that's interested in this. I have somebody interested in that. Can you reach out to them, do this, do that?" Because I don't want to be shunned. I don't want them to be shunned. I want them to be welcomed. Because again, like Don said, internet killed the clubs, and with clubs kind of being stagnant, we want to make sure that we still welcome everybody into the community. Like I said, I'm the events coordinator for Arizona Men of Leather, and my goal is to kind of branch out to different organizations. During my title year, I did that. Worked with ICOA. I did Wax a Bear with the Pups. I worked with different organizations, and I did anything but clothes with. So I've reached out to different organizations, and that's my goal, is to keep those bridges built, and make sure that we continue working with different organizations, different clubs across the Metroplex, and make sure we continually work and erase any boundaries or erase any walls we have between us.
And what would you say makes Arizona Men of Leather a unique club?
Well, because I'm in it.
Okay, there's got to be something else.
That's how you. That's how you get.
Wow.
And that's how you get a title.
No, it's a fun club. It's like I was very anti-club myself before I got the title of Mr. Anvil Phoenix because I like to be to my own drummer. And just joining it, and you see that it's just we're a good brotherhood. We get along. It's just a bunch of, again, very diverse group of people. We have Adam. We have different members of the group, and we get along. We work well together. We build community. We build our events, and it's a welcoming club for everybody.
Thank you, Ben. No pressure.
Everybody stole my answer. I guess I'd say for me, being somewhat newer to the leather scene, just in general, I feel like I've been more within the scene in the last 3 years or so. That's about it. But the one thing I can say is that I think amongst all of the clubs in Phoenix and the organizations is that there's a lot of visibility to me. Like I think I knew about so many different organizations and the different clubs, even though I wasn't involved or wasn't like actively trying to participate, I always saw members everywhere, whether it was a kink event or not. And so I thought that was really cool to be able to see that representation just all over, regardless of what kind of queer thing was happening. So to me, that was, I think, the cool thing about Phoenix. I think in regards to ONYX Southwest, I think it's important that there is representation for everybody in the kink and leather community, and I do think that it's great that there is an organization that can help to empower some of the underrepresented communities within the queer community. So that's my
Thank you.
Thank you, Spark.
Oh goodness. Just I suppose to echo some of the things that other people have said, I agree that the depth and breadth of Phoenix's gay scene is really quite surprising. Like growing up here, I kind of also had that assumption of like, oh, this is a conservative place in a conservative state, like this is gonna suck. And then going out to the bars and going out to meet people and getting involved with organizations, it very quickly became apparent that there's so much room here for all of us. And having gone to different cities and tried to like see what their communities are like, I think there is actually quite a lot to be said for our community. I think I also forgot to mention, like, I'm here representing Arizona Pups and Handlers. Hi, everybody. Don't clap. So the puppy scene in general is really playful and joyful and really wants so badly to help people kind of unlearn a lot of the poison that comes from growing up in a modern human society. And puppy is so much about like stripping a lot of those layers away and finding a more innocent form of joy. And Arizona Pups and Handlers specifically in regards to that, we are kind of the local puppy group that approaches from a more leather mindset and cares more about our leather history. And so we have like a particular outlook as far as like mixing, as far as like how these two worlds meet and where we come from and how to like continue that legacy forward. So
Perfect. Thank you so much.
I don't know why I have two mics either. Would Chico?
Give one to the back row, and
Okay.
then you guys keep it back there, and you guys keep
There
it
we
over
go.
here. He thinks he said anvil.
So anyway, no, I am going to be echoing what people have said about Arizona, but it is the Wild West, and whatever you're into, there's a spot for it. And I found my spot initially with the Phoenix Boys of Leather. I am a kinsman of the Phoenix Boys of Leather, and I am a sir to my boy Peter, who's sitting right over there and waving at me.
Hi.
And so I don't identify as a leather boy, but I very much support the mission statement and the values of the Phoenix Boys of Leather that Rupert mentioned earlier. And I was honored enough to be bestowed the title of kinsman, which essentially is a de facto member of the Phoenix Boys of Leather. which is the longest continuously running boy group in the nation, in the world, perhaps in the universe. Still to be determined.
Not bad for Phoenix.
But I'm also here representing the Mr. and Miss Phoenix leather. And I guess that's unique in that it doesn't exist anymore. But
Yes, you carry
it
legacy.
exists in legacy. And while it was around during my title year, the Mr. and Miss Phoenix group, it's sort of a make what you will with it sort of title. So a lot of times that can be fundraising and supporting our community. When I earned the title of Mr. Phoenix Leather 2023, we had just lost a very significant member of our community. His name was Marcus Anthony. So I spent quite a bit of my time just trying to help us heal. And I would do it again in a heartbeat.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Austin.
Austin.
So as far as Phoenix, yeah, the puppy community here is massive, and it's really, really diverse. And pup play in general is just so multifaceted. People approach it from so many different ways for different reasons. And I think what's unique about the Arizona Puppy Trainer Contest is it really is a chance to highlight all the different styles and approaches to pet play. Some people who participate are not into leather at all. Some who do are very much into that. And so it's just a chance to embrace all of that and give everyone involved a chance to learn about different pet play styles.
Thank you, Boy Rex. And on a side note, Ben and I had the honor of being judges for the Arizona Puppy Contest, which was an amazing, amazing experience for us. But I got to tell you, when this boy got in front of us, he made us cry. The whole panel was crying when he answered his question. So it was a pretty incredible experience. And I've been around a lot of the contests that happen, but sitting there and listening to him as he was talking about his life experience was pretty touching. So congratulations once again.
Oh yeah, I was really, really fortunate, and I received a $5,000 grant towards my medical bills. I had bottom surgery last year, and I had a lot of complications.